What up, YouTube? This is Daniel Rucker with True Table. Welcome to the table. Today, this topic right here, I'm tickled. I really am tickled because I was sitting back in my mind and I was processing this show in my mind. Like I didn't, write any notes or anything like that as of yet. I wrote notes now, but I was thinking about this and I was like, yo, I'm tickled. But anyway, before I get started, before I get in here and get cooking, because you notice what I do on this channel, go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead and subscribe. You are going to want to stand by, hang on, and listen to this show in its entirety. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if you just so happen to be a female, you just so happen to be on this journey of trying to figure out why, Daniel, why is it that I can't seem to position myself to find a suitable man that I actually would respect and value? This show right here is going to explain that for you. We're going to clear it all up. This is the secret, ladies. This is the key. Now, I know the title may be throwing you off and the thumbnail may be throwing you off, but I promise you, if you stay for the entirety of this show, you're going to learn something. So let's get started without further ado. Why? Why would I say that most women have salvage titles? Well, without going in depth with the whole salvage title and cars and all of those things, most people, most adults understand what a used car is, what a new car is, what leasing a car is, what financing a car is. Most people understand this, right? How does this correlate and connect when it comes to dating? And are you on this camera right now, Daniel, comparing women to cars? Like, are you doing that? Like, how dare you? The audacity, right? Well, it's not so much that I'm comparing women to cars, but the reason why I wanted to use cars is because I believe most people can understand the basis of cars, the value of cars, the functionality, the use of them, right? So, what I've grown to understand, ladies, the main issue on why you guys are struggling with this thing called dating, with this thing called finding suitable men, finding someone that you value and as well as values you. Most, if not all of you, truly do not understand what type of vehicle you are. Now let me explain. In the reference that I'm using to vehicle, women, I don't believe have been told, so I'm here to tell you, that's what I'm here for, that's what I'm gonna do. This is True Table, we're gonna keep it a buck. Women are perceived product for most men. Let me explain. When a man is on a journey of finding a woman, he is looking for the best quality of a woman he can find, right? So if a man is in the market for a car, in most cases, he's going to be looking for a car that suits his available needs, that suits his finances, that suits his lifestyle, that suits his brand, that suits his, desired experience. Why is this important? This is important because the same way that man is thought out all of those key points and bullets that I just pointed out, it is the same when he's thinking about a woman that he wants to acquire, ladies. An acquisition for a man is marrying you. Now, some of the things that I wanted to touch on in this broadcast, because I already know that there's some girls on this channel right now who are fuming. They're probably like, yo, I can't believe this dude is sitting here talking mess, calling women cars. Well, ladies, I really am here to help. So I hope you can hear me and not feel me. The reason why most women, especially modern women, are continuing to battle with this is because you're still trying to figure out how you can oversell your brand. What do I mean? You have to be honest enough. You have to be direct enough. You have to be truthful enough to know what type of car you represent in the form that is the type of woman you are to the market. Now, I know that the world, social media, music, Beyonce, these movies, these scripts, and all this crap is going to tell you that all you women are Ferraris. That all of you guys are top tier, premium type of women that every dude wants. I'm here to tell you that's nonsense. Some of you guys are minivans. Some of you women are Volvos. Some of you are Honda Civics. Some of you are SUVs. It is up to you to figure out what type of woman you are when it comes to the sexual market and the representation that would be your vehicle. So, used cars with a salvage title don't sell for top prices. Now, the salvage thing. Why did you use the word salvage, Daniel? Why is that a term that you are throwing about in this particular broadcast to try to get us women to understand and to say without, with such conviction that women have salvage titles, that most of them have salvage titles? What does a salvage title consist of when you're referencing it to a woman? I'm going to tell you. I'm glad you asked. Most of the time, if a man is considering a woman, he doesn't want a woman with high miles. He doesn't want a woman who's been in an accident. He doesn't want a woman who's had a child. He doesn't want a woman with, frayed interior, graffiti, mismatched doors, mechanical issues, unrepairable issues, which all of these things would get you a salvage title if you were a vehicle. Now, what does that translate to? That means that if you're a single mom, that means if you are tatted up and down in excessive places, that means if you have a high body count and you've been thotting and botting and hot girl summering it up, all of these things in the mind of a man would consider you to be salvage, right? So if we were to be able to run a Carfax, or more in this case, a whole fax on a woman, what would we find? Would we find someone who has never left the lot? Will we find someone who has never birthed another man's kid? Will we find someone who has low mileage? What will we find? And that's why I'm doing this broadcast. That's why I'm talking about it. Because the same way that a consumer can understand that the value of the vehicle is based on the newness, based on the level of premium that it represents, based on the brand, based on the quality, based on the year. There's so many factors that determine how valuable you are as a vehicle, right? Well, it's the same thing, ladies, as a woman. You as a woman's job, from the time you turn 18, is to now make the best decisions to maintain your value. What does that look like? That is not your education. That is not how much money you make. That's not even solely just based on how you look. That's a component of it, but that's not all of it, right? And somehow, some way, I don't know at what point and what time that women got this confused, but they started thinking that the marketplace that is dating and relationships now belongs to them to now do things that men have been doing since the beginning of time to gain their value. What do I mean? Men have to gain their value. Us as men, and I'm willing to admit this, are not valuable without some level of accolade, without some level of achievement. When a man turns 18, he's not worth crap, period. When a woman turns 18, she automatically is of tremendous value to men at large. If she is a virgin, if she's fit, if she's beautiful, if she's without child, that is like purchasing a brand new vehicle. And not just any vehicle, but a high-end quality vehicle. Something that a man would want to own. Something that a man would want to purchase. When a man is looking to acquire a woman, he's not looking to acquire a woman who has been East Coast, West Coast, down south, and got, 60, 70, 80,000 miles on it. No. Your value drops. Now, just like everyone understands, the moment you leave the lot, the moment the car leaves the lot, it drops in value. Brand new car. As soon as it leaves the lot, drops in value. Guess what, ladies? That is no different when it comes to you. The moment you are de-virginized, the moment you decide to have a child out of wedlock, the moment you have that first sexual encounter with the low-level, no good, basic freaking dude, your value drops. That's what it is. And the problem is that women are trying to hold on to their perceived value. They're trying to hold on to that fresh seal value that they had prior to, inception, prior to the sexual encounter, prior to impregnation, prior to, being touched, being, experienced. Guess what? It doesn't work that way. The moment you decide to interact with a man that is not your husband, that's key. That is not your husband. The freshness, that new car smell, that's gone. You don't get that back. Now, high mileage depreciates a vehicle, but guess what? High sexual encounters, excessive partners, the constant CC cycle that you want to be on, that depreciates your value. You as a woman has to make decisions that are more methodical than men. Is this fair? It's subjective. Maybe, maybe not. But the simple fact is that they're not telling you, ladies, that you have the best chance of acquiring a man of superior achievement, quality life, when you as a woman come with your best representation of self. Untouched, unexperienced, fresh seal, childless, fit. These things are what men want to purchase, i.e. marry. When I was thinking about this broadcast, I was like, man, what points am I going to use to really drive this home? Because see, some may be taking what I'm saying and being like, yo, this dude is bashing women and, he must, have, small penis energy or, he's been hurt or anything. No, actually, ladies, I really want to see y'all win. And what is always confusing to me is that there's this constant, energy that I've observed through podcasts, through, radio, through media, by women who are always complaining about the same thing. And mostly from the standpoint that they mostly feel that they should be deserving of a quality man after they done had multiple sexual partners, after they done inked their body up, after they done pierced everything that they consider value as cute, after they done potentially been a mother to one, maybe two children that this man that they've never met doesn't even, this man doesn't even, those are not his children. And she's not even with that, particular man anymore. And she didn't even have the entry point of being purchased by making sure that man, first of all, purchased her before she decided to even pump out some little ones for him. There was things that I wanted to touch on, and that's why I really hope that what I am saying, as it may sting, as it may make you rub you the wrong way, it's something that I really want you to consider. I'm one person in this particular space that is YouTube, that is a man that is speaking to the very things that other men have spoken to. See, a lot of what's going on in this particular space is that the women who are listening think that we men are just bored and we sitting back and got nothing better to do but shoot shots at women and try to make you guys feel bad. When in all actuality, I believe that most men, what they're trying to do is they're trying to get some information to help you understand that what you're doing is not working, not for the results that you want to produce. And for those who are saying, well, no, that's not true, I'm winning out here, that's nonsense. The statistics and the numbers don't prove that. What I learned, one of the lessons that my mother taught me, as well as other wise people, my dad and some others taught me, that usually when something is said out the mouth of 2 or 3 people, you may want to sit back and listen, because if it's being repeated in almost in the same alignment of the message, there may be some truth to it. So understanding, again, going back to my point about being a car and what type of car are you, everybody's not a Mercedes. Everybody's not a Ferrari. Most women are Hondas. Most women are pickups. Most women are Volvos. That's okay. There are customers for those type of vehicles. But even with those type of vehicles, ladies, most men want to still get the best deal that they can get. They do not want to go onto a lot and feel like their arm is going to be twisted to purchase something that anybody and everybody has had access to, that really doesn't have much curb appeal. The one thing about a car is a car has a tendency to be an extension of what, a man represents in some cases. Now, we do understand that at its basis, it's a form of transportation. It's a vehicle. It gets you from point A to point B. But when a man purchases a car, most men purchase cars that they actually want to drive, like they actually want to own. Most men do not spend their hard-earned money on cars that are just basic in a sense. They want to feel, and yes, I'm going to use the word feel in reference to men. They want to feel like they got something that represents their hard work, their brand, what they stand for, quality. And they want the best that their money can buy. It's no different when it comes to women, ladies. For those who understand how to purchase a vehicle, there's usually 3 ways to get a vehicle. You can finance it, you can lease it, or you can buy it cash, right? A return lease is better than a purchase rental. I'm gonna say that again. A return lease is better than a purchase rental. What do I mean by that? This is where it gets tricky, because a lot of women think that they don't think that their choices on how they went about making choices to have relationships, have children, who they have the children with, how those relationships ended matter. It does matter. A man that's looking to pursue you for purchase is going to ask certain questions. A man that's looking to pursue you for purchase is going to want to know how long you've been sitting on the lot. Or were you a rental car, i.e. a thotty? Were you leased? Because if you were leased, that tells a man that you were purchased. And everyone knows that a lease you can return. So if you were leased, purchased, married, then it didn't work out for whatever reason. That is a better deal than a rental car that they put a for sale sign on. Because everyone understands, again, a rental car, they'll rent to anybody. Out-of-towners, next door neighbors, towns over. Are you getting my drift? If you're a rental car, ladies, guess what? You're not desirable. You're not as desirable as a return lease. A lease for purchase. You're not. A lease usually has one owner. One owner compared to hundreds, if not thousands, of borrowers. Rental car is one owner is way better than a whole bunch of people getting in and out of your vehicle, driving it, slamming on the brakes, cranking the wheel, moving the shaft, wearing out the windshield wipers, and all of the stuff that comes with the wear and tear of your vehicle. I'm a fool for this one. I'm a fool, but it's all good. I hope you guys are getting something from it. Most modern women are good for test drives and not for purchase. And why can I say this? Because the average woman nowadays believes that their 20s, especially their early 20s, is designated for high mileage. It's designated for travel. It's designated for constant customers to be able to experience all of their amenities before they're gonna age themselves out, run their mileage up, and then now they're gonna want to be returned to the lot that they came from, and now have some sucker come and spend his money on a used, worn out vehicle. No, ladies, no. This is what the problem is nowadays. You as a woman, if you want to be put in the best position to eventually be acquired by a man of quality, well, I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do. One, you need to be very, very diligent, very, very mindful and careful about the decisions you make and the type of sexual experiences that you have, if any. That's right, if any. You need to be focused. If marriage is something that you want to do in your future, well, I suggest that you make that something that you chase after and you make it a priority, because it is better to marry and divorce than to stay single and fool around and then try to return off of the dating market, used and abused, and trying to get someone now to have to acquire you with damage, with mileage, with potentially a salvage title. It's a lot more difficult. Try to sell a car with a salvage title and see how much of a challenge you have. I'm just saying. And one thing I wanted to leave you guys with, and this is more pertaining to the fact that women don't think that their looks and the way that they present their package, the curb appeal, doesn't matter. One of the things that I know really, really turns me off as a man is when I see a woman with excessive tattoos, and pointless tattoos at that. Not well thought out, real bloody, on their thigh or on their arms or on the top of their boobs, places that are just not one hidden, and it does something to the aesthetic of a woman's skin. I don't believe tattoos were made to be abused in that way, especially when it comes to the temple that is a woman's body. This is just my own personal outlook. Feel how you want to feel about it, but this is my channel. This is what I'm talking about. This is how I feel about it. This is what I think about it. But in pertaining to the car, the likeliness of somebody purchasing a vehicle with graffiti on it is actually very low. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to actually do a little research, because it just dawned on me. I'm like, what is the most commonly purchased car color? Like, what color of car sells the highest across all of the manufacturers, right? I thought I knew, I assumed, but I wanted to go ahead and do some research. So I left actually the links to those websites in the description so you can check them out in your own leisure. But the most common color of new cars sold is actually white, and then black, and then gray. Now, what's interesting about these particular color palettes, right, is that all of them are very simple, plain, lacking flair for the most part. They are, they're not earth tones, but they are simplistic, precise, clean for the most part. You don't see commonly where a car is bright yellow or pink or purple, and they, by and large, if you go to a CarMax or you go to, a huge car lot, that they have those types of cars in the showroom cases or in abundance. No, when you go to a showroom, you usually see a car that's either black, white, silver, or some type of off-white, something like that. Why? Because the manufacturer understands that the aesthetic of that vehicle, to be perceived at the highest value, needs to be something that is flush. I.e., ladies, your body, your temple, your skin, and all of those things doesn't need a whole bunch of excessive ink, or any at all for that matter. It further drives down the value, the perceived value of the woman you are. So anyway, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this particular broadcast as much as I enjoyed putting it together. There's definitely some more points that I wanted to make, but for sake of time, I'm way over my time, but I was gonna let this one flow and go a little long because I felt I had to touch on these points. So I may do a part two. But ladies, you gotta start thinking about yourself like a vehicle. And if you were a vehicle and a man is looking to purchase you, what would he get? This is Daniel Rucker with True Table. Till next time, if you have not already done so, go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead and subscribe. I appreciate it. I am one subscriber shy of 200. So let's go ahead and get your boy to the 200 and I'm gonna keep coming with this content. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and until next time, peace.